Hello everyone and welcome to another Colouring Together live where we colour together for 1 hour in real time. And today what we're going to be looking at is colouring this lady's hair. Now I have linked the image to this video, so if there's any problems with downloading etc, just let me know and we'll work it out together. The other thing is that I want to share with you is that going forward what I'm going to be doing is to be creating a series of workshops. So for example, this series will be based on using colouring pencils, and within the image that I will share, that it will have all the elements of what that workshop will include. But these will be a series of 1 hour per each section, so I'm not going to sit there for 4 hours with you going through it. It will be split into the same 1 hour, working in real time, so at least you can get through one image where again you're collecting all the information you need in order to move on and color other things in that's similar or close to, because you'll have the thought process. It's all about not just coloring what we've got, it's about the whole thinking about why we're coloring it in that way. What are the colors that we like to use? What's the light, mid, shade, etc. So eventually what I'm hoping is that together I will start creating some ways of thinking about the color, how to mix color and etc. But that will come little by little. So today, as I said, we're going to be looking at this lady here, and you'll see also that in every video that you'll see here is that up here, hopefully I can point to the right place, there we go, up there is where I tend to keep the colors that we're using. So in this case going forward, I won't be mentioning, because in the past it was ink lily pens, so we all had numbers for that. I'm no longer going to be using the numbers. I'm going to be showing you in terms of shade. So I've created or borrowed something that I found on the internet from a lady where she has created a chart, and I thought that was sort of color palette chart, and I thought that was excellent, so we can use that going forward. So again, look out for the links in any video that you are doing, or even have a look at. I'll stick the link as well so that you can find it in the feature. So anytime you're doing something and you want to know about the shadings, or anytime I'm doing something, I'm going to relate it to, as you can see up there, the name of the shading based on what is in the palette. So hopefully that's a better way of going forward, rather than just saying, as I've got here, light brown, mid dark. So hopefully I can give you a better sort of look and feel about the colors that I'm using, but again you can use any version of colors that you like. So what I wanted to bring to your attention is that up there is we've got dark, and I've got a mid and a light color. So that means what I'm doing is the dark color, you can see up there I've given it a name, and this is what my dark color looks like because I'm using shades of brown. And then we've got mid here. Again, you'll see the name of the mid color that I'm using. Well, it's close to, it's not exact, but it gives you an idea. And the light as well, so that's what I'm using. I want to show you that the pencils I am using, now remember I'm only showing you what I'm using, but you can buy any pencils that you like. It doesn't have to be top of the range. I happen to have these in my stash. So again, use whatever you got in your stash, wherever you can borrow some for a little while, go for it. So the other thing I wanted to share with you is that I've got this wonderful sharpener, and I think it was from our group in fact that I found out about this, and I totally forgot about it, and when I came across it I thought this is fabulous. So that's the make, and the good thing about it is that I just push on here or push down on this, pull it out, stick my pencil through here, but I still need to make sure I've pushed that there, push my pencil through, and then it will stay out once I've got my pencil through. And I just do this. Woohoo! How easy is that? And to empty it, all I do is I pull this forward, like so. Woohoo! Love it. So if you hear the noise cranking in the, the back of it, that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to start off by doing that so that you can see how sharp I'm suggesting that your pencil should be to get into the thin bits. So whilst doing that, as I said, what we're going to do is to look at her hair. And what I'm going to do is start off by looking at this part, and then we'll move on and see how we go. So as I said, I've got my pencil like this. It is good, I can still do it, but personally I like it much thinner. So I'm going to start off by doing this. I thought we'll do this together. As you see, I'm pushing it through like this, and you can see it stays open like that. And then this wonderful gadget at the back, you'll see that it doesn't take much at all, and I've got it nice and thin. So I'm just going to quickly do the others. I just thought I'll do this live so that you can see, and it's only making noise, you know, probably sounding louder for you, so I apologize because I'm quite close to the mic, but you'll see that it's actually quite soothing. It's not like you're cranking something in the garden, I don't know. And you see in no time whatsoever, nice and quick, because I did have an electric one before, but then I remembered, I thought, oh yes, this one's going to be better, isn't it? So I'm glad I found it. So as you can see, just to show you, these are my colors. Let me just put it together so you can see it, and you can see each one of them, I've made them quite sharp, if you like, so that the pointy parts, so I can really get into the areas that I want to. So for here you can see this is my dark, this is my medium, and this one's my light. Okay, right, so let's get going. So the thing to think about in this case is, where do we want to start and what does that area look like? So what I'm looking for is, I'm looking at, so if I'm looking at this area, for example, what I'm doing is I'm looking at this area here as being darker, and then I can see it here as well. Because the good thing about this type of image is that it really will show you where the dark parts are. Okay, you can really see. So what we're going to do in this case, we're going to follow how these dark parts work and how they're going to look, and then down here you will see that there are lines, so we can bring them out with the dark color. So we're going to see as well how to still get the darker shade in, but how to do it gently, because what we're going to do is to not go hard and hard and hard. What we're going to do is little by little. Okay, so layer by layer, so that we're not overdoing it, and it's less to worry about in terms of rubbing it out, because you can use an eraser, but we're going to do that at another stage. This time we just wanted to get into the habit of just going layer by layer, gentle by gentle. All right, so what I'm saying is that I'm looking at this part in here. I think what I will do is that I will start with the whole of this area so that we get it all together and you can see how it works. So I've got my dark shade, and what I'm going to do, you can see I'm just gently brushing it up. And the thing about doing it this way is that you keep in the grain of where the hair's going. So you're not going, if you did it like this, you would be going against the grain of the, or the strands of hair rather, so that it will It will still look nice if that's the effect that you want, but by doing it in this way, even if you go up and down, you're still going in that way. So that's how you get the sort of strands, if you like. Let me just show you what I mean if I get going. So you can see that here, what I've done, because I follow the technique that I was saying to you, suggesting, you can see that you can still see the strands in her hair. So that's what we're aiming for. So as I said, we've started here. I'm going to look at mapping some of those darker areas. So I'm going to start here, like so. And you can see I'm just gently brushing it upwards like this. And the idea is when you get to here, have it very light, because what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our mid color so we can blend it in. So try as much as possible to keep it soft as well as you come to the edge. Can you see what I'm doing is I'm almost doing a flicking motion there. So I'm in like this, and then I'm looking, let's go to the dark areas first. So I'm going to do it here and go up just so slightly. Yep, so I'm doing it, yeah, I think I'll do it just over to the part where it's getting dark, well, moving from dark to light. And I'm going to do the same here, where I see I've got some dark here. So I'm going to, with my dark shade, I'm going to go over it. And also, can you see that I'm going on the side rather than up? Okay, you can go up if you want to get more of a definition. And if you do it to the side, it becomes softer. Even though we've got the long length here, it will still come out soft because I'm not doing it on top. You can do it on top, as I was saying, if it's a specific sort of area like here, for example, and you want to really get in, which we'll try here actually. We'll have a go at that there so that you can see how both can work. So I'm not saying that one doesn't work, but you can use both depending on what you're doing and how you feel comfortable using it. So I'm just going to continue here, and you can see that I'm seeing that here it's a little dark, dark shade, because what we're looking at is, in this case, what I'm not doing is I'm not thinking about the area of the light where it's coming from. Too much stress. We're supposed to be relaxing, that's too much. So all I'm doing is I'm looking at where these strands are creating shade over each other. So it's just like when you're walking in the park and you see the sun casting a shadow. So you're looking for the same sort of thing. What is casting a shadow over what? So for here, for example, when I've shown you it's gone dark, it's darker here, it's because these two parts are looking above where this is going. Okay, so the same here. This is deeper. So by using the dark color as well, you sort of show visually where you want the part to dip in, because it's darker, so it's dipping in. So that's why here when we're doing it, I hope you can see. So remember, look at your coloring, what's in front of you, because you can see what's in front of you, and it's about how you feel comfortable with it. It's not supposed to look exactly like mine. Mine doesn't even look exactly like mine when I do it more than once. So just have a nice feel about what you're seeing, and that you're comfortable with it, and keep going with it. Don't stop, just keep going with it. And if it comes to a point where you're like, oh, just walk away, have a tea, whatever, come back later or the next day, whenever you feel that you want to come back and do it. Because the whole point is that we're doing this so that we can relax. I'm just looking at this point here, and I'm seeing that it's showing me that this bit is dark. So I'm seeing that this can go underneath, And I'm going to show you that if I wanted to, there are certain parts that you can decide whether you want it to go up or down. So when we get there, hopefully there's some in this section that I can sort of demonstrate. But this one is quite obvious. This one is quite obvious in terms of you can see the V and it's already marking them. So just by visualizing it and looking at it, I can see that this bit is higher and this bit is higher. So what I'm going to do, still using my dark color, is just stroke in there. Okay, so I think we'll stop there with the dark color, and we're going to work a little bit more now with the mid color. Yeah, my mid color and the dark color. So we're going to move to the mid color first, because what we're going to be doing now is starting to think about how we want the light, the dark, to move into light. So just judging it by eye, I would suggest again starting smaller. So don't go all the way up to where you're thinking, well, what I want it to do is to go dark up to here. I would suggest doing it as we've done it here, doing it small, bringing in the mid color, and then as you go along, as you'll see, you will bring up the black if you want to, or the dark rather if you want to, or you've got it in a position where you can leave it like that. So that's what I suggest, to do it in this way. You might even want to bring this down further, okay, because you can always add the dark, and it's going to be more easier to add than to use your eraser to remove it. But again, that's still another technique that we can look at another time. So I'm using my mid, and I'm just going from the edge of here so that it blends, and I'm going to take it up a little way. So you can see again, I'm still brushing it, I'm still doing it very lightly, and by doing it lightly, it gives me a chance to put in the layers. So I hope you can see on yours as well that because we've done it with a gentle stroke, it's already starting to do the blending for us. If we've done it too hard, it's okay, you can still do the same thing. All it is that you'll have to get the balance, just keep working on the balance. The same thing we're going to be doing here. You'll just have to keep doing it on a hard, in the same sort of pressure that you were using. You'll have to use the same sort of pressure to begin with, and then you can go over lightly to get it to blend. But again, this is what I'm saying here is only a tip, you know, play around with it and see what works, and again what works for you. So we've done this part here, so I'm going to move to this bit only because I feel like it. I don't need to go in order, I can just go here, I might start here. So I'm just happening to go to this point here, and again, like we did here, I'm just going to brush it at the edge, and I'm bringing it up. And again, I'm not going to go too far because I want to have a look at where I want to put the light shade in. And the other thing to think about with hair is that it's not just one color, isn't it? Even if you've got brown hair like the one that we're doing now, you will still have light and dark and shades, etc., all the way through your hair, won't you, depending on where the light is shining, etc. So don't feel that, for example, what I'm saying is, don't feel that because you've done the dark here that you can't put in any of this color or the lighter color to fill in the gaps, because that's what will make it even more natural. So we'll have a look at that. Hopefully I'll leave the space to do it, so that we can put in the bits that I'm gabbling on about. So I'm just going to go back here, and I'm going to go here. This is a good place to talk about what I was talking about earlier, so I'm going to leave that one last. So I'm just going to again just stroke it. Remember to breathe, because that's the thing, so relaxing. I love doing colouring. Again, and what I'm going to do is to go to this part here, because it's the darker bit, and I'm going to just take it up just slightly, and I'm going to go to here and do the same thing. And here is similar to this one. So what I'll do is I'll start on this, and then hopefully that will help for us to go through that bit, because we've done a bit already here. So I've just brought it up just a slightly more, and what I'm thinking is that down here I want to really show that this part is a dark part because it's been tucked underneath here. So to do that, I will need to use my darker shade and just gently, as you can see, just keep going. Yeah, can you see? I'm just doing some flicks. I'm taking it from the edge here as much as I can and up. So just a little tick, like. And can you see? I'm just going across. And can you see that it is slightly getting darker? So what I will do is I'll leave it like this, because it's getting the balance right as well. So don't feel that you have to sit there and get each part you know, as you want it to look. You can start off that way in terms of getting it roughly where you want it to look, and then once you've done the whole hair, the whole head of hair, then you get a better feel for what needs to come up, what needs to be deeper, etc., so that you can really work into it, because you've got the whole picture. So but for now what we're going to do is to just concentrate on this area here. Alright, so now I'm going to go in with my mid color, and I'm going to join it up, and you can see I'm trying to now match the darkness, the mid color, to the darkness, not so much, but in terms of intensity. Did I get it right? Alright, so I'm going to leave it like this. Again, like I was saying, we're going to finish off doing this bit of the hair, and then we'll see how we get on. So what I'm going to do is here, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm thinking that this is deep. I want this to look deep, and for it to look as if it's going behind here. So again, just slightly brush strokes. Okay, and I'm going to stop there, and I'm coming in with my mid color, and I'm doing the same. Okay, so this one is different. We're going to go back in with our dark color. So go back in with the mid, and I'm still only using soft strokes, as if I'm combing the hair, if you like. And I hope you can see on yours that it's starting to have that darkness, or deep color, if you like. And you can see this is this is why doing, especially with pencil, doing it in this way, so that you gradually work on the colors by layers to get how you want it to look. So I'm going to keep going. I think that's getting close to it. And you have a little look at yours. Is it that deep colour that you like? Because remember, my light is going to be slightly different over here. Hopefully it gives you a good idea, but I can't see what's in front of you. So you look at your colouring and you see how you feel about how dark, how light you want it to be. Okay, let's see, I'm going up a little bit more. And you'll notice I'm not worried about going over other places because we're going to colour over it anyway, so it is what it is. So I'm going to go up a little bit more. Alright, so I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to add a bit more of the colour so I can see my mid colour. There, I'm starting to see the mid colour a bit more. You see, I'm not going up too much, I'm just going over those bits. And same here. What I will try to do as well is not to keep moving it around as I'm going along, because I know, even from my experience, I get dizzy. No, what no, just to keep turning. I'm like, oh. So, but the point is that you turn it to where you feel comfortable doing it. So if it's upside down, you turn it upside down. I'm only holding it like this so that hopefully I don't make it dizzy, and also it'll make it easier for you to follow where I am on the hair or part of the image. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop there. I know I've got these bits to do, but I'm going to hold off on that, because you can do this. You can start there and think, not sure about the rest, and go somewhere else where you're sure about, you know. So you can go here, you can go anywhere that you feel, yes, I know what's going on in that area. I can see that this bit is dark, that bit is dark, but I'm not sure about that. Cool, find somewhere else. You know, so it's not about you must do all of one area first. Even though some people say it's good to do that, life's too short. You know, so I'm not going to worry about it. So I'm just going a bit higher there. So what I'm going to do before I bring in my lighter colour, as I mentioned before, there's areas here where I can see that I can bring some shading into it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is very lightly, the same way we went lightly here, but I'm going to do it even more so lightly, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift my pencil up a bit more so that I'm using the top part of it rather than like this. I'm lifting it up more, sort of a bit more, sort of, I don't know, right angle if you like, 45 degrees. Not good at maths. So that what I'm doing is, you can see I'm stroking in there, because what I can see is this bit is looks like it's going to be deeper because of here. Alright, so that's how I'm seeing it. You will see yours as you get used to it and you start thinking. You'll see, well, actually I prefer that bit to be depth. I can see that this is lower and that bit's higher. That's fine. There's no right or wrong. It's how you feel and you see it. Okay, so for me, I'm going to make this part lower, and again, I'm not going over as deep as here, because for me, I'm seeing that this is a little bit more out, so not so in depth, but it still needs that color so that it gives it that real look. So it's not flat, it looks as if it's curved, it's moving, it's got some flow to it. So that's why I'm doing it very lightly like that. And again, I'm going to look at other bits. I'm looking at here. I can see that these bit to me seems like they are curving up, so on both sides. So what I want to do is to make this part here and here to look as if it's underneath. So again, I'm going to lift up my pencil a bit higher, only because I want to stroke and only get into those lines. And again, it doesn't matter if it comes out a little bit, but that's where my mind is focusing on. And you'll see yep, so I'm going to leave it like that. And again, what am I seeing? So what I'm doing here really is I'm mapping out where I feel that I want to make some shading and bring things in and out. So here I can feel that that bit is going in. So I'm going to just do a little stroke like this. Again, with this, what I'm doing is I'm pretending that I'm pushing it under. So that's another way of thinking. When you're getting to these areas, think about you're actually pushing the nib or the pencil into and underneath. So you're sort of pushing it like this, but you're stroking it like this. And here the same way. I'm going to stroke it going that way. So now this is when we're going to work with the two. So we're going to work with the mid and the dark at the same time. And also what I'm going to be mindful of is that I do want to add some of the light at some point and possibly into there. So you'll see that, for example, here I will possibly go about here in the middle like this, and then here, and you'll see as we go along you will add to it. You'll see more, you think, oh, actually I want that depth. And this is why I'm saying as well to go little by little, because then you can bring things forward or together, depending on how you're seeing it, rather than bringing it all the way forward. It's better to work bits at a time, and it's less stressful. So I'm going to do the same here. You can see that wherever I put the dark color, I'm taking my mid color and I'm stroking it a little bit on it actually and bringing it forward. The reason why I'm doing it a little bit on it, I hope you can see what's happening, is that it's changing the depth of it. So let me demonstrate on a piece of paper. I think that'd be better. So for example, if I'm doing it like this, I'm going to do a long piece like this, and then what I've been doing is that I've been joining it like this. But if as we're doing, we're getting a bit lighter and darker, so I'm just going to add some more dark. This bit is still light with my dark color. So now when I take my mid color and I start going down, can you see the dark is starting to look more brown, in terms of you can see the mixture of my mid color and what it's doing to the darker color. It's blending. So do try things like that, and you'll see that we'll start to do a bit more of that as well as we're going along. So a bit of a play. So again, this is what's happening here. So I'm going in my dark, for example, I'm going back in with my dark, just looked and I thought, that looks like it can go in as well. So I'm going to leave this bit to stay up, and I'm going to use my dark here. I'm just pushing in, and I'm pushing in underneath visually, I'm thinking, yep, I'm pushing it underneath there. And it also enables you to put it closer to where you want it to be darker, or look underneath, and you're not leaving the gap. Again, I'm going in my lighter color. What I'm going to do is to bring it forward, and what I'm going to do is what I just showed you. I'm going to take my mid color and I'm going to go over, just gently still, over where I put the dark color. So again, what it's doing is it's making it less harsh, if you like. It's softening it up a bit more. Yep, so now I'm going to look again, where else do I want to put in some dark, because what I said is that we'll focus just on this area. So I'm looking again, and I'm looking at here where we were before, and I'm thinking this bit here has got some folds in here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to think about where I feel that is under and where I feel is over. So I can see, and sometimes look at the shading, things like this. You know, when you print, or even when you get a coloring book, and you see there's certain, you know, you're not sort of sure what's in and out. Have a look at where they've put the shade in, because a lot of the times that's a good indication of where your dark should be, your light, but especially the dark and the lighter shading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push into this corner, because I feel that this is going under here. And you will see, this is what I'm saying. So now, yes, we've done this before, didn't we? We went up here. But now looking at it, I think all of this part here can be under. And this is what I was saying, to do it little by little. And you're also hearing how my thinking is working. So as I'm doing it, I'm speaking out loud, so that hopefully that helps as well. So again, can you see I'm just bringing the bottom bit so it comes darker, and I'm bringing this bit here just a little bit. And now what I'm going to do is to just gently do that bit here. Remember, you can hold yours up a little bit more. Now and again I'm going to hold it like this, so that hopefully you can see better what I'm doing. But again, you hold the pencil, you'll find the way of how best you want to hold your pencil to do things, or even change. My hands get tired sometimes as well, so you might want to change the position that you want to do it. But if it's your hands are tired, your hands are tired. Just do it another time. Don't stress about it. Okay, so can you see what I've been doing is going up here, like I was saying. I'm coming down here and I'm moving along here, but I'm still doing it really gently, so I've got a chance to manage the darkness or the depth. So I'm going in now with my mid color, and I'm going to go up slightly from here, and I'm going to go down slightly from here. And now what I'm going to do is, as I was showing you before, the mixture of the two. So what I'm going to do is go over the dark like this, because again it makes it less harsh. Okay, so I'm going to do the same here. I can see that I want that part here, because you can see there it's already got the dark sort of shade, if you like, there already, and up here as well it's got it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go around the sides like this, and I'm going to only go up to here like that, because I want that bit to be under this part here. And I'm going to pick up my mid color, and I'm just going to go over it first, just to soften the dark color, because it's a bit higher, isn't it? Down here is darker, because it's more sort of inside the plait, or the way that the hair is meeting here. It will be a bit darker. But up here, even though it's in the shade, I want it to be soft. I don't want it to be as dark as here at the moment. I may go in later and think, I want that bit darker. But that's the beauty of doing it lightly to begin with. Alright, you can see I've gone over quite a bit of that, but that doesn't matter. Again, you can leave yours a lot more light. So here, for example, here I can see that there's a strand here that hasn't been coloured in. I'm going to leave it, because that's where the light colour will come in. So I'm going to gently bring that up. I'm still going to go in again with my dark, and I'm now starting to look at more areas, maybe here. Again, can you see I am gently making that bit, bringing that bit out so that this bit looks under. And then I'm just going to soften it by going over with my mid color. Like so. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to start using my light color. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to, not my dark color, I want my mid color and my light color. So what I'm going to do starting first is that I'm going to go in with my light color, and I'm going to start bringing these areas in together. Anywhere where I've left it, I'm going to start coloring it in. We're not going to do this part, we're just focusing along here. Okay, so again, I'm going to go back and forth with this. Anywhere here where I've left a gap, again, it doesn't matter if I go over it. You can see I'm going over it here, because what it's doing again, it's softening it. Yeah, so again, sort of filling out the gaps here. You see I'm still going very lightly, because we can go over the whole part of this again, bringing out the color. Yeah, and the other thing you can do is that you can do this. Yeah, you can follow the strand up like this if you want. Or if you see what I was doing, I was going up and down. Oh yeah, so but what I wasn't doing is doing it so that it was still not going in the direction of the strand of hair, and also I was doing it in a very small area. So for example, let me do it from up here so hopefully you can see better. I'm doing it like this, so I'm still doing it, but because I'm going up and down like this, I'm not going too far in. I tend to do a combination of both depending on how I feel or what I'm, where I am doing it. Or sometimes like this, sometimes I just want to stroke it down, and then sometimes I might want to stroke it up. Doesn't matter, however you feel is comfortable. The only suggestion that I give is to, especially with hairs, to keep in the direction of where the hair is naturally sort of curving to. So I'll give you another example. Down here you can see that the hair's going down and up, so you want to stay true to it coming down and going up. In the same way that we've done here, we've taken into consideration that actually there's a little bit of a curve here. So that's what we've been doing. We've been bringing this bit up here so it's darker, and then here because it's lighter, but we still want to bring in a little bit of the dark color in between here, so then it still gives that curve here, especially when you put it on the edges like this where it's curved and you bring it in, it will show that curve as being rounded. So I'm going to finish off going around here, just filling in all the gaps. Even here I'm going to fill in all the gaps that I haven't coloured in. So we're only going to stick on this part here. Alright, so that's why I'm just going up to here. going. And keep going. Yeah, take your time. This is how long it takes. This is how I colour. I'm not just I'm not slowing down because I'm doing these. I'm literally colouring with you the way that I colour, and I'm doing an hour's worth with you, because sometimes it's just an hour. I just want to sit there and colour, and then I choose an area that I want to colour and I focus on that, and then that's it. Go and do other things. But you say that, I say that, and then I'm there 2 hours later trying to finish it off. Because I'm like, oh, I just want to do that bit as well. No, I might as well finish it. Right. So a bit there again. So can you see what I was saying about all the areas that you haven't colour it with the dark or the mid? Leave it, because then what we're going to do is we're going to come in with the lighter shade. We don't need to completely cover it up at this point, but to go in and find all the areas, just give it a little brush like this. Like here. Yeah, I can see some areas. Okay, I'm going to leave it like this because I'm not going to worry too much more again about the gaps, because we're going to go over it, and the more we go over it and we'll see more gaps or etc., we'll cover it in the way that we see fit. So I'm going in now with my mid. As I say, I'm going to work now with my mid and my lighter color. So let's see, let's start from up here. So I'm going in with the mid because I've already put the dark color down here, so it's already creating that dark shade already in that depth. So what I want to do when I'm using the mid color is to continue soften it, so you'll still see it getting, you know, depth, but the dark color won't look as intense maybe, because we've only just put a little bit, and then we're going over it with our mid color. So anywhere I've done, I'm just going to go over it again because I know we've done it, but this time I'm going to bring it out a bit more, like so. So here, if I remember rightly, we just did the middle part, didn't we, to make sure that so I'm just going to go in with my mid, because I feel that's what I want to do here. I want to keep that with the mid in that space, and then I'm going to bring the mid out here. I think for this I'm going to go about here, I think, with the mid. And stop, and then I'm going to do the same here where I've got a bit dark here. I'm going to bring it forward, and here I know I've left those light bits, which is fine. This is where we're going to go over with our light. Okay, so I'm only doing just this little bit first, and I'm going to go in now with my lighter color, and I'm just going, can you see what I'm doing is gently stroking my light color over all of it. So the dark color and the mid color, I'm going over all of that with my light color. And can you see you still got the depth, but because of putting the light color on top of all, and you did put the mid color on top of dark color, by the time you start putting the light color on, it really is starting to really soften that area by still giving you the depth. There. Alright, so now I'm going to look at this bit. Alright, so now I'm looking at that bit and I'm thinking, I want to put a bit more of my dark colour here, because I feel that this bit, let's see, and this is what I'm saying to you. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, right, do I want this bit to be underneath, or do I want this bit to come underneath? I think what I'll do is I'll follow this line, because we've got here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow this line here underneath, and you can see that I've still joined it here, which is fine. So I've gone from here where I went round to here, didn't I, and I stopped here, and I'm thinking that this bit needs to go underneath, so I'm following that round and I'm just joining it here. It's fine, because what you'll find as well is that you may add extra depth and lines, which we're going to have a go at that. We'll have a go at that so you can see that working. So all I've done is lightly put in my dark colour. Same procedure, go over with my mid colour to soften it. And I'm going to bring it out slightly. And you can see I'm trying as much as possible to still keep in with where that the strand of hair is going. So I'm still not doing it like this. I'm still trying to, as much as possible, saying you can turn yours around and you'll find it much easier. See, I'm stretching again. It's like when you're brushing your hair, right, and you're trying to get it into the certain style or place, and then you give up, you use, use something that will keep it in place for you, clips, whatever. So I'm now going to move to using my light color, and again I'm going to go over this to make it even more lighter. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking I want it to look less, because for me that's come out a bit darker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it out so that it looks as if it's supposed to be there. And again, it's yours. If you want to leave it like that, cool. But I'm going to bring mine, I'm going to curve mine so that it's over, yeah, that it's starting to come over here. So this will also give the hair a bit more of a movement. So here I'm just like as if I'm combing it down. I'm doing it very lightly, and you can see I'm using the side of the lead rather than on top, because again it will give me that soft, you see it's starting to soften up a bit. Yeah, and now I'm going to go over with my light colour. Okay, and now what I want to do is I want to bring this even more. This is the sort of things, I'm glad this is happening so that we can go through it together. I want to bring this a bit more into this shading, and I want to make this bit also move more into this shading. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to go back in with my dark, and I'm looking at here, and I'm going to make this bit slightly darker, not too much. So I'm going to be working with my dark and my mid for this, and I'm just going to do that, going in a bit more with my dark just to get that shading. I'm going to go around here, yeah, and then I'm going to go back in with my mid just to soften it and to bring it out a bit. As I was saying, you can oops, sorry, you can move it as much as you want. So what I did there is that I went over this bit here, and then I went in with my mid just to soften it. Okay, so you can already see that it's starting to soften, and that part is starting to look more natural into that area. So again, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring it down a bit more here as well, because remember we'd put some dark here. So I'm going to bring that in a bit. So I'm using the dark color really lightly. And now I'm going to start bringing this in, because I can see that there are sort of folds here and there's folds here. So I'm going to start again lightly putting in my dark here, and bringing it round really lightly, and I'm going in with my mid color and I'm going over. Just to soften it again. So you have a look at what's in front of you. And again, I'm looking at this bit here and I'm thinking, yeah, I want to continue this bit to go in deeper. So again, I'm just using the dark color now just to give some refinement or definition to that area. And now, because it's getting to the lighter part, now when I do that, I'm using my mid color to just soften that darkness a bit. Yeah, so it's all about layers and taking your time with the layers. So you can see more and more it's starting to come together. So here I'm looking at here, and I'm going to, again with my dark color, just go in to give that bit a bit of definition. Probably up to here. Yeah, and then I'm going to go in with my mid color and I'm going to go slightly over it and bring the color out. So I'm going over the dark color and gently coming out of it and doing the flick like we did down here. I'm flicking so that the edges of where the mid color finishes is light. And you see now this is starting to look as part of it rather than sticking out. So again, I'm looking at here, I'm seeing that this bit is sticking up, so I want to go into here. And you look at what's in front of you. Yours will look different to mine. That's the whole beauty of it. Okay, and I'm going up here, so I want this bit to stick up. So to do that, I have to give it some definition of the dark. Again, just think about shading, what casts the shadow over which part. You see I'm doing the same thing. So this way I'm bringing it out like this. So I'm rubbing over or colouring over the dark, and then I'm bringing it forward. And can you see I'm still, even if I'm going in this direction, I'm still doing it small, and I'm still doing it in the direction of the strand of hair. Okay. Alright, so the bit I want to do now is here. I'm not going to use the dark bit for there. I'm going to use the light. So I'm just going to turn it over slightly, and I'm going to go along here, just along the edging, very lightly. Hope you can see that it's starting to have that sort of curve, so it doesn't look flat like this. So here I went in with the dark because I wanted it to be defined, so I got this area here looking defined. Then here all I want is for the top bit here to be slightly with a shade. And then now what we are ready to do is to go everywhere again, over everywhere again with our light color. Okay, so I'm just going over it, mainly in the areas where it's light. And then in this case, I'll try, doesn't always work out, but I'll try to go over where I've only put the mid color to begin with. And then, for example, I might look at this and I think it's a bit too dark. If I put my mid color on it, it may still look too dark, because I'm putting dark on dark really. So I can start off by trying the lighter color and see how that looks first. And as you can see, it's already making it more softer, so you might want to try that out. So here I might look at here, for example, and I want to soften that out. Can you see already it's starting to do that? But to not go all the way down here, don't need to, but you can try it. You can see how you like it. But for me, I'm only going to go to here, because also by doing that you're leaving the depth here. Yeah, so all I'm doing now is I'm going through all the bits here. Now this is what you'll keep doing. You can leave it like this if you want it this light, or if you want it darker, then you just keep going over it like we've just done now, and keep it darker until you get it to the the depth that you like. And if you wanted it lighter, you stop lighter. Hope that makes sense. So the more we go over it, the more depth and color you get. So on the last bit before we finish, I'm just going to show you here about the depth and how to think about the depth. So for example, what I'm doing is I'm looking, before I even get coloring, I'm looking at the areas. So I'm seeing here that bit looks like it's supposed to be a bit darker, so I use my dark shade to map it out for me, just so that I can see where the areas that I want to color. So I wouldn't go through the whole page, the whole image if you like. I'll just stick to the areas where I want to color in. Okay, because otherwise I find I'm thinking far too far in ahead, when I can just concentrate on this little area. No matter where I am, I'm concentrating only on that little area. So here, for example, I can see that's coming, that needs to be in. I'm looking at the shadows here, so I can see that needs to be in. And here again, can you see that I want this bit to be over? So to do that, it's already showing me it's got the shade in there already. So again, I'm still using my dark, and I'm using my shading. Right, same thing here. Give another example. Down here, where it's got a lot going on, I'm looking at this bit here. Looks like it's going to go down, and I'm looking at that bit here. So I'm doing this because remember, what we want to do is to show as if you're pushing the pencil underneath. So by doing this, yeah, and I'm going to do it here again. because I can see this bit coming down. I'm looking at that area. I can see this. I'm looking at it, think, I want that bit to be in and that bit to be more prominent. So I'll do this. And this is what you'll do as you're going along. And if, for example, I get to down here and I think, nope, don't know what's going on there. And then I look at this part and still too much. I can go to this part, for example, thinking, okay, I can see that one better, or where we were. I can see that this bit is in a little bit, that bit, yeah, and it starts from here. So this is the sort of thing I'm saying to you. Don't sort of sit there and think, oh no, I don't know what's going on there, because I can't see how the strands are working. You'll realize the more you put in, you know, you do that bit and you do the other bit and you think, oh yeah, okay, I see how I can make that bit fix and etc., how I want it to look. So this is it for our hour. I hope that you found this useful, and as always, please comment down below any questions that you have, anything else that comes to your mind that you'd like me to do going forward. Again, just throw it down in the comments. And most importantly, don't forget to please share what you're doing, because also it helps me to know how you're getting on with what I'm showing you, because it's through that I will know if I'm not explaining something properly, or yes, that's working, that's not working. So it's really about you inspiring everybody else, because that's what we do in our colouring communities, that we're looking to inspire people, ourselves and and others to get involved and to help me as well to see what's working, what do I need to change, etc., or add. Maybe sometimes I think maybe I should show that bit, so when I do another recording I will add some of that element as a skill set, because that's all it is. It's all transferable. Everything that you will do in these sessions, they are all transferable. So again, as I was saying, please look out for the series. I'm going to do series of colouring. So for example, I'm going to be doing to start off a series with pencils, because we've already got the pencils. So I'm going to do a series with the colouring pencils, and then I'm looking to do straight after that using just a normal pencil and doing colouring with that, and how to do your shading, etc., with a HB pencil or any other pencil you can get your hands on. You could do it with a colouring pencil. So we'll look at all of that, just using one colour to create all the shadings within your colouring. So we'll look at that. Anyway, thank you everybody for joining me today, and I hope you enjoy it. Please remember to share it for everybody, and get the community, ask your friends and family to come and join us as well. So hopefully you'll see you all soon. Thank you. Bye.